Hello, sweet souls. Welcome to the Daily Tune-In. This is Vidette Mayer. I'm actually recording today's Daily Tune-In. I'm sorry I can't be with you live, but I wanted to get this message out to you because it is extremely, extremely important. I'm not on live with you today because, excuse me, Bud and I have to go to Tirana, which is the capital of Albania, to the U.S. Embassy in order to apply to get our residency for 1 year here in Albania, so we can just stay put, rest, and really go to work on what we are here to do. And that ties into some of the well, not some, but the message for today, because it is really important that we are grounded, excuse me, and that we are, I have this thing in my throat, so I'm not gonna be doing the in your ear, I'm sorry. But it's really gonna be important. This week is going to be the spark that sparks our work here in the world. It's going to be the week that starts what we have been prepared for in consciousness in this last year and throughout our spiritual awakenings. But first I wanted to introduce you to our beautiful plant wall. I wanted to have like a nice background for this video. And this is the plant wall that Bud and I are working on. So there's some tomatoes in here, and I don't know what this beautiful thing is, but look at that. Look at the purple of it. It was like, it like jumped out at me when we were kind of going through town and finding some plants. And we have some more tomatoes over here that will hopefully be coming out. And then we've got some, I think he said these are geraniums? I think they're geraniums. They are still in a little bit of shock from being replanted, so we're hoping, I have no doubts, Bud is really good, y'all, with plants. It's like the sweetest thing. It's what I love so much about him. He's like this, on the outside, this harsh and tattooed dude where you think like you should be scared of him. But he has the gentlest soul, and he can bring plants back alive, and it's because he has some amazing energy. And then I'll just show you out here. This is our, it's kind of a cloudy day today, and I don't know if you can see it, but, oh, you can't. Right out there is on the horizon it's been interesting to watch. There's like a ferry. It's a ferry from Italy to Corfu, Greece, that caught on fire. And I'm like, I feel bad because like when I look at it, it's kind of a cool thing. It's been cool to watch for the last 2 days, just watching all of the organization. You could see flames coming from it. And at the same time, I'm like, man, someone's having a terrible day, that poor captain and all the people that have to deal with that. But so there's the paradox of life. So to the message today. Our responsibility begins especially this week in our responsibility in bringing our gifts forward. And if you sit there and you say, I don't know what my gifts are, I have no idea what I'm here to do, sweet soul, you do. And I want this message to reach you in a different way than maybe what the 3D world has conditioned you to believe in your gifts and what that means. There are no certifications that you need to run out and get. There's no more traditional education that you need to get. There's no licenses, none of that. You have been in training already. You have to think of when we have a new program or a new operating system on our smart stuff, our computers, our phones, all of that. A lot of times there is a beta test first on the system. And the beta testers are the ones who try the system out. They go through the system, they operate in the system to get out all of the bugs, to see what the system is, how to best use it, how to best maximize the system. And then they get to bring information, light, right? They bring the information of the system back so that everything, all the bugs can be worked out. So when it is fully rolled out to everyone, to the masses, to download, that operating system, to understand that operating system, they have as good of an operating system as there can possibly be for that program. Now, taking this into what we're doing here, what this community is about, we have all chosen in this community, if you are here and resonating with these daily tune-ins, you have been on a journey, a spiritual journey of awakening, of coming into a higher consciousness to understand that you create the life that you have created. Any challenges that have shown up in your life are created by you. If you don't like those challenges, or you feel, or if you've ever felt like life is happening to you on your spiritual journey, that's when you awaken, right? Through the light of consciousness, you awaken to the fact that anything that has shown up in your life to teach you a lesson, to challenge you, is a miscreation of your own thoughts and your own beliefs. That's how we have evolved into a higher consciousness. That's how we have had the lights go on of what is truthful to us. That is what we have been working on and training in for the, I don't know what the, last how many years. Linear time is it doesn't really work here, but I'm trying to kind of make a connection. In this last year, this has been one of the biggest beta tests of light workers, of those of whatever you want to call this community, light workers, star seeds, awakened ones, conscious ones. For those of us who have been on this journey, this past year has been quite intensive, and we have chosen to be a part of the beta testers of this new operating system. Priya, sorry, the dog's sniffing around. Come here, look out. We have chosen to be the beta testers of this new higher consciousness operating system. Okay, we chose that in our soul contract. What this means is every human being has gone through this, but we have chosen to go through it consciously as I don't know if it's the first wave, but as like the initial wave of those who are embracing the new consciousness of these higher frequencies, of the 5D frequencies that have been flooding in our into our planet. And we have chosen to go on that journey in a conscious way before everybody else was conscious of it. So there's been a lot of people in our lives that have been unconscious of this whole journey. And so we have gone through it, beta testing it and telling people about it. But people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have that operating system. So it's led us to feel weird, to feel isolated, to feel as if we are on our own. So when we come into community like this and we see others, we meet others who are also these beta testers, we can talk about the operating system. We can talk about all of the things that have to come in order for us to operate in consciousness in this operating system. What we have come to know is to operate in this operating system, the darkness has to precede the light. And that comes in a lot of ways. Dark has to be preceded by the light in order for us to understand the new light, the new operating system. So this has to come in all ways in our physical and mental and spiritual strata in our operating system. So our operating system now is the multidimensional operating system, which we have been consciously integrating. Spiritually, we had to go through the dark night of the soul in order for us to understand that we can no longer operate in the old paradigms of the 3D operating system. Being in that matrix operating system has turned out to be quite painful, and it has slowed us down in an evolutionary way. So we had to be in that darkness spiritually to then wake up to that soul gnawing at us inside, aching to come out and be in the light, so that our soul's expression could come to the surface. We also had to go through the darkness emotionally, energetically. That's what a lot of this past year was, right? being in the darkness and going within and being with every single emotion that was dark, and it was heavy, and it was dense, and it was hard, and we had to look at it so that we could shine light on it and understand ourselves and understand the thoughts and the beliefs and the patterns and the ideas that miscreated this part of our life, that created this darkness. And once we understood what created this, the parts of us that created this darkness, we shine light on it, and then we could expose it and we could purge it out of our systems and update ourselves into a higher expression, into a higher consciousness. As we've done that, we also then manifest it in our lives, in our physical lives, because remember, the physical is simply a result of the spiritual and the energetics coming together to meet the physical world. And in the physical world, we all had to live in some way, and some of us are still in that process of living the darkness out in physical expression. So some of us had to live in the darkness of yuckiness, and I've shared my own physical reality of darkness in this past year on these daily tune-ins, and being in Mexico and saying goodbye to my boys, and then coming to Ukraine and being literally in, you know, the darkness of winter, you know, and the season of darkness for myself spiritually and energetically, in the dark night of the soul. And in my world, in my reality, it got dark, so that I could shine light on the last remaining parts of my life that were still a living expression, a physical expression of the darkness that I had created spiritually and energetically throughout my life. And I was letting that play out so that the light could come on, and sorry, little plant, and I could expand into a lighter version of my life, of my reality. And now I stand here with you in this a massively powerful time energetically in our world, in our reality, in a halo of light. Is everything perfect in life? No, but what I have learned in this operating system, and what you have learned in this operating system that we have been beta testing, is it is all for us. So anything that doesn't seem perfect, the light is already on for me now. All I know to do now is to work with the consciousness of a higher frequency, of a higher consciousness, of a higher operating system, in order to be able to pull new light and new manifestations into my reality. You are now in that reality as well. This is the gift that we have. The gift is not, oh, I'm a healer, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a this, I'm a that. It's not a title. The gift that we have and that we are being asked to be responsible for from here on out is the gift of light, of understanding, of wisdom. We have covered on the daily tune-in what the light is, and the pathway it goes into, from the cosmos into us, through our DNA, into our consciousness, so that we can express it out into the world in our truth. The gift that you have to give is the truth of who you are. And that is going to be asked of you immensely starting now, starting this week. This week marks a massive, massive beginning of a brand new operating system coming into the light for the masses. This is going to look like a lot of darkness, okay? Spiritually, there are going to be many that are triggered spiritually into darkness. They are going to be pulled down into their own dark night of the soul, because it is time. It is time for the mass awakening to start happening in the physical reality. So that means we will be seeing an increase of people being diagnosed, all the things that we've all been through in a collective, jobs kind of pulled out from under the under people's feet. We are going to have truths that rock people's worlds. Let's just put it that way. It's going to express in a lot of different ways, but all of a sudden truth will be illuminated in a way that cannot be ignored and cannot be denied in many people. And it's going to send many people who are still operating on the old operating system into the dark night of the soul, so that they will then move into the energetics of the healing of that. The healing of that is the healing of the consciousness that miscreated the filter that stood behind the essence, the truth of that person, and the how they were operating in the world. So the energetics of that is now going to start to be purged from these people. Okay, and then that is going to be expressed in physical form in their life, because sometimes we have chosen, the beta testers chose to go to the spiritual nature first and bring it down into the physical. But this is when, for many in the realm of mass awakening, it has to happen in the physical so they can see it right in front of them. As this happens, it's going to send many people into fear. The dark has to come into the world in a moment, so that the light can then go on and the light can be expressed. So we will be seeing darkness physically. Grid systems might go out, internet systems might go out, in a nefarious attempt to hide the light from being seen. More and more revolutionary, powerful stuff is happening in the world. And there are those in this world who don't want us to see that. So we may have some blackouts of some sort. But when that happens, you will know that that is the dark that has to happen so that the light can be revealed. So not only spiritually and in consciousness are new operating systems coming online, but in our physical reality, brand new operating systems are coming online. Financial systems, internet systems that are of benevolent nature, that are truthful, that are the light. But the old has to go dark for us to then see the light of these new systems coming online that have been created behind the scenes in the quiet while all the darkness played out. So there's going to be, from here on out, we have been, remember the tsunami from February 2nd to the 22nd, which is Tuesday of this week. That is like, it was the big tsunami, the big push of energy through, and that push is going to take us pretty much through the end of this year. And what that push now is we are now going to watch all of that unfold, in physical reality. And this is where you come in, sweet soul. Your gift is going to be to hold the light, hold the information, hold the wisdom that you have from being a beta tester, from already going through this process. You have been the beta tester so that you could consciously experience this new operating system and how you uploaded it in consciousness. It wasn't a fun process, but now you know it. So whatever unfolds that sends the masses into darkness in all areas or all expressions of that, you hold the light. You hold the information and you say, y'all, it's gonna be okay. This is where the responsibility of what we said yes to in our soul contract comes into physical reality. That's going to start expressing itself this week, and it's going to carry us through the end of the year. And from how we hold the light in the rest of this year will determine the timeline in which reality continues to unfold. We are the consciousness holders of the light, meaning the information, the truth of what is happening right now, because there are those who are going to attempt to hide the truth and give us untruths to hold the masses in fear. But remember, we had to reach in consciousness a tipping point of those who could hold the light before the truth was exposed to the masses. We have reached that because you have done your work. You have beta tested this new human operating system, this higher consciousness of operating systems that has ever been held, actually has been held, but 26,000 years ago. This is the first time en masse that this same consciousness has been held in frequency in 26,000 years of human history. And you get to hold that. We get to hold that as a community. Do you get how amazingly important you are right now? I'm hoping you're getting this, because if you're watching this, it's because you are part of that tipping point. You now hold the tipping point to take the entire planet out of the darkness and into the light. And all you have to do, all we have to do, is simply live our life in the light, whatever that means for you. The gift is your holy breath. And if your holy breath is in the place of love and joy and gratitude more often than not, then you are doing exactly what that operating system has updated you to do and to be. That is it. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to be a certified this. You don't have to be a licensed that. You don't have to go back to school. You have gotten schooled by life. You have gotten trained by your teams that have said, you know what? You miscreated and thought that relationship. Here's the darkness that you need to see, and you navigated it. You purged and you did the work to see the light in so many different areas of your life that now you're like, oh, I get this. I see how this works. So when something of darkness comes over you, it doesn't scare you anymore. It doesn't send you into fear. You simply get to recreating it and purging that which no longer serves you, being the thoughts and the emotions that have created it. And you have up-leveled the thoughts and the emotions, which is the electromagnetic field that creates your physical reality. You got this down now. And now it is just yours to model for others and for you to hold space for the others who go into darkness from here on out to see that their darkness is bringing them into a higher expression if they are ready. If they are not ready to receive and hold that light, y'all, we're going to see some physical deaths. And I'm going to say it because this is a soul journey. This is a consciousness journey. And if the soul isn't ready to see the light in physical form in this life, they will then go into the next incarnation to relive their lessons. This is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful part of soul's evolutions. So there is going to be a lot of disruption in the physical world. It could be very dark for many people. And for those of us who understand it, it could still be a shock to our system, but we will then know right away where to go. We go up in consciousness and we hold the line, knowing this is in our favor, and the darkness has to come in to the old to shine light on the old operating system, so the entire planet, the entire mass awakening can occur and rise up. And we get to be the space holders for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being part of the beta testers. Thank you, the beta testers. Thank you for being part of this amazing evolution. Thank you for being a part of this community. Please share this video. Let people understand what is happening. Plant the seeds. If it is their time for those seeds to sprout in the consciousness of those who may be in a lot of darkness or who are about to be in darkness, then it is their time to awaken and to start going through the updating system, the updated process that you have already been through in consciousness. And if it is not time for those seeds to grow, it is not yours to nurture. It is simply yours to plant the seeds. Whether you share a video like this, whether you simply just say to someone, it is okay, it is all right, you will be fine, I promise you, if you believe me, then you will be fine. Or it could simply be to stand in your space where your heart is wide open and just hold consciousness for our entire planet. That's how we plant the seeds, from our heart, the portal between the spiritual and the physical, and we just allow our hearts in gratitude, in joy and in love to be the space holders, to be the emotional space holders for those who are going to experience some darkness. Thank you so much for being on the Daily Tune-In. I hope I can be back live with you tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I don't really know what that's going to look like, but if not, I will definitely be back on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Please, if you enjoy and you get value from these Daily Tune-Ins, please consider giving a donation to keep this platform in service. It is extremely important that we support each other in this time of great need in consciousness and in monetary support for living in this 3D world still. So I ask for your support. If you enjoy and you get value out of these, please return the value in the form of a monetary donation through the links on this video. And if that is not your call, then at least leave a comment, click the like button and share this video with someone else so you can at least get the value out to someone else. Thank you so much. Love to you. Mwah. See you on the next Daily Tune-In.